Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crunch Time Podcast with the N326 duo. With your hosts, Sam Godze and Tanner Dislin. The clock is winding down. It's time for Crunch Time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 217 of Crunch Time with the N326 duo. I am your host today, Sam Godze. And with me,
feeling fantastic today because yesterday on Memorial Day on Monday, the New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers and are going to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. This will now be the third chance I get to watch one of my favorite teams play in a championship series, championship game, whatever. And one of them was the Rangers in 2014, which, like, let's be real, I'm not even really a Rangers fan, judging by how much hockey we've talked. So this is a pretty special moment. I'm feeling good.
yeah, absolutely. Obviously, NBA Finals coming up. The Knicks advanced yesterday. Spurs Thunder. We'll talk about that and so much more on episode 217. Tanner, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but where do you want to start?
I think we start in the Eastern Conference Finals, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a absolute ass whooping by the Knicks, especially in Game 4, where they sealed a trip to the NBA Finals 130-93. Talk to me about your Knicks, man.
What I would like to do is I would like to throw out three numbers and see if you can find the correlation between them. Okay? Those three numbers are going to be 51, 30, and 37.
I'm gonna guess they are the deficit of series. I don't know how to word it. Potential series ending games.
Yeah, that's
elimination games, I guess.
That is the margin of victory in closeout games for the Knicks this year.
Closeout games. That's a way better word.
The margin of victory in closeout games, 51, 30, and 37.
Ain't bad.
That's absurd. They have the highest margin of victory in the highest point differential heading into an NBA Finals ever, more than the 2017 Warriors, who started what? They started 14-0 in the playoffs or something.
Yeah.
Like the most absurd stuff you've ever heard. I feel like in sports we use the words like generational, unprecedented too often. This is generational stuff. They have won 8 they've won 10 games in a row. No, 11 games in a row. They won the final 3 in Atlanta, and now 4 against Philly, 4 against Cleveland. 11 in a row. The point differential is absurd. You heard the closeout games point differential. Their 2 losses this postseason both came by one point. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. This run by the Knicks has been incredible. Obviously, when you talk about the Knicks, you're going to focus on the big names. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns are kind of the 2 big dogs, but the supporting cast has been absolutely incredible. And one guy I really want to shout out is Landry Shamet. Coming off the bench has been awesome for the Knicks, not only in this series, but in this postseason. I mean, you saw him score 16 points in 19 minutes last night. You saw him score 14 points. Just having a go-to guy in that secondary unit when you can give guys like Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson a rest, and obviously there's going to be a drop off, but it's not as severe as we see other teams. He was incredible. OG Anunoby, one of the more underrated players of this squad, kind of gets put on that back burner, but he's just as important. When he's healthy, this team is totally different, and we saw that in this series when he came back. But yeah, super fun team. And yeah, Knicks to the NBA Finals. Crazy.
I mean, right now, OG Anunoby's this playoffs is averaging 20 points a game, shooting 58% from the field.
Yeah, absurd.
Like, that's how good he's been. Did you happen to see what Landry Shamit's 3-point percentage was in the Eastern Conference Finals, or his 3-point attempts and makes?
I did not.
I believe he was 12 for 13 from three in the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
That's unfathomable. Well, like shooting from someone who, like, at one point during the year or beginning of the year was like a candidate to not make the team.
Yeah,
is crazy. I just like I don't know how to accurately describe this turnaround. Sitting here, I believe on this podcast, I said something to the effect of when they went down 2-1 to the Hawks, I was kind of like, I'm still rooting for them, but like I think it's pretty clear they're just going to get waxed by. They're going to go out and get waxed by the Celtics, who were dominating the 76ers at that point. Well, that series goes south for the Celtics. You get the favorable matchup against the 76ers, and they've just turned on the Jets. I don't know what, and even the end of that Atlanta series, they just dominated down the 51-point win in a closeout game on the road. All three of those closeout games also were on the road.
Yeah, crazy. But on the other side, obviously very disappointing. The story of James Harden not being able to get it done in big games continues. I believe this postseason he passed Karl Malone for the most playoff wins without a championship. This one has to hurt if you're a Cavs fan, because I think the matchups were there for them. But when you have a goober like Kenny Atkinson dropping crazy quote after crazy quote, you just shake your head. They announced they're bringing him back, but like some of these quotes, we think we win those game sixes. So said losing the game sixes in the previous rounds hurt the Cavs. We win those game sixes, we beat the Knicks. I'm not saying that, but I think it's gives us a better chance. But the density of the frequency of the games played a part in it. Basically, I mean, there's been multiple accounts of him saying crazy stuff like James Harden is a good defender and the Knicks got lucky. Analytically, we've won 2 out of 3. It was just crazy comment after crazy comment. I mean, we all saw the clip of him saying we got a little unlucky, and he likes to hold his timeouts. Just crazy. And James Harden joined in on the fun when asked if the Knicks were better. It was 4-0, but I don't think we had a chance as far as our best shot. They dominated us 4-0. But I don't know if I can necessarily answer that question, because genuinely, I do feel like we're the better team.
Yeah, looking at Cleveland, I do think some of this is the Knicks were just that good this series.
Mm-hmm.
The game 1 collapse is inexcusable.
Yeah.
Obviously, it feels like there was a tangible. I mean, obviously, how could there not be when a tangible series shift when you're down 20 plus in the fourth quarter and then you win that game is crazy. Like game one's inexcusable. Game two through four, they were flat out outplayed. There is some credence to they played the most amount of games they possibly could have going into an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
7 in the first round, 7 in the second round. That's probably not what you want.
Yeah.
I think that caught up to him a little bit. Now, obviously, you don't want to be gassed and tired after close out your damn series like the Knicks did, like other teams have done throughout the playoffs, and get some much needed rest. So that's something. I also think the Knicks have been that good, so that's also something. I can't sit here. You'll be hard pressed to find two bigger James Harden haters than the gentleman sitting at this desk. Maybe that one announcer who ripped into him. What was it after he left Philly? You remember that announcer who was like something about James Harden demanding another trade. He was talking about Daryl Morey, and he said he just wants in his life someone to believe in him the way Daryl Morey believes in James Harden, because he just continues to fail and fail and fail. And I just can't fathom trading someone who you drafted, who has been a good player for you, who is 26 years old and costs way less for someone who is a known playoff diminisher, not a playoff riser. I don't know, playoff choker, this, whatever. He plays worse in the playoffs. He gets paid a crap load of money. He doesn't play a lick of defense. Brunson took advantage of that matchup all series long.
Yeah.
He was a net negative.
They were seeking out James Harden every possession.
They were seeking out James Harden every possession. I just don't get that trade. And he's just like an older Donovan Mitchell. Like, I just don't like. James Harden's a better passer. That part of his game is better. So but like, it's not like they play the same position.
Yeah.
They both like, this idea of ball dominant guards. They both like to possess the basketball. They both like to shoot off the dribble. Neither of them are spot up shooters. Like, I don't get the fit. I don't. Obviously, the pedigree of the player speaks for itself, in that this is someone who does not show up in the playoffs, and like, you gave up a ton for him. Now they had the highest payroll in the NBA. The Cavaliers did. Okay, like the insane amount of loser talk is whatever. Like, it is crazy what some of the things that have been said analytically were this, and I think we're the better team from Harden. No, you got schmeng bopped. You were not the better team. I don't see the vision of the Harden trade. I think Harden has a player option, maybe.
Yeah, he does.
Which I don't think we're in the timeline where Harden demands a trade yet. He'll probably opt into that, and then by this time next year, obviously by this time next year, but like, I don't know, maybe by January or February next year, he will have demanded the trade, and he'll be off playing somewhere else. But I don't know. Not that Darius Garland is like a franchise cornerstone, but he went to the Clippers. He averaged 20 points a game, shot 48% from the field. Like, Harden did the same thing. He averaged a little over, like, I think he averaged 0.8 points per game more. I think he averaged 0.8 points per game more as a Cav than Garland did as a Clipper, but shot like 2 or 3% worse. And like, the numbers are comparable. One's 26, one's a lot cheaper, and one is a homegrown fit. I don't know. I don't get it. I didn't get it at the time, and it's just I don't think their offense flowed. I don't know. It was certainly a net negative on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I'll say in regards to the Garland trade or release, I can't remember exactly. I guess it was a trade. Is he has been battling injuries, but still very, very questionable trade for sure.
yeah, I didn't get it at all. And yeah, they were just outclassed on this basketball court. And I think where it really showed, because the starters are obviously very good. Donovan Mitchell, you know, he's a superstar. He is. The starting five is really good. Uh, the depth, I think, is a little bit of an issue. You're relying on guys like Max Strus and Merrill and Dean Wade. Like, some of these guys depth pieces, and like you compare that to the Knicks depth pieces, and like Landry Shamet shot 12, 13 from three, and a guy like Josh Hart um, had a big part in some of the earlier games, maybe not so much in the later games, but Mikal Bridges shot damn near 60% from the field and played good defense. Like the guys on the margins, it was incomparable, I think.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the Knicks, obviously the spotlight's gonna be shown on Brunson for sure, and deservingly, but the supporting cast is really where I think they kind of separated themselves in this series.
Yeah, that's it. Every single guy you name that played minutes, besides the superstars, which are obviously given. Brunson, did you see what Brunson shot from three in the Eastern Conference
I
Finals?
did not.
What do you think? Just take a random guess. What do you think it was?
No. 37.
Yeah, 12. She shot 12% from three,
Yikes.
and they swept them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not to say Brunson was bad. Brunson was very good. He obviously got his in other ways, namely seeking James Harden
Yeah.
and finding that matchup. But yeah, Mikal Bridges was unbelievable, and Landry Shamet was unbelievable, and Cat was unbelievable, and like Cat had a bad game one, but he immediately turned it around and played great the rest of the series. And OG Anunoby is like the heartbeat of this team, does everything on the floor. Mitchell Robinson comes in, they immediately hack a Mitch, and then the next thing you know, the Knicks are in the bonus and they're shooting for the last 5 minutes of it. Like, it's just everything flows so well. And Mike Brown has done an unbelievable job just like figuring this all out, getting the rotations right, dealing with the hack a Mitch. And it's spectacular to watch. Obviously, as a Knicks fan, it's spectacular to watch.
Yeah. And yes, Brunson was incredible, but like in reality, he didn't play amazing 2 of the 4. He was obviously incredible game 1. And then
Brunson is
game
the type
3.
of player when you say he played incredible, your mind goes, "Oh, incredible! Would he have like 50?" Like that's the type of player he had. Kind of standard to good games for himself, and the rest of the cast just went crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I can't believe this is where we are. I've said this on the podcast many times. A few years ago, you and I were watching for the number one, and I've watched. Obviously, we've had our takes about the state of the NBA, but there was a time where you and I both watched it a lot. And in college, not too terribly long ago, I watched like a 28-win team with Emmanuel Mudiay and Alfred Payton and Dennis Smith Jr. and Noah Vonleh and Alonzo Trier and Lance Thomas and Ennis Cantor, Kevin Knox. The list goes on and on. Reggie Bullock. The list just goes on and on and on. And it just seemed like even when the team got good, you had the Trae Young stuff in the first round that eliminated you. Fine, whatever. Then you run into the Pacers and OG Anunoby gets hurt, and it's like, oh, and then that you kind of felt like that team was dropping like flies. And then last year you have a really good opportunity. Then the game one collapse happens with the Halliburton shot, and then they get smoked in India, and you're just like, it just felt like it, even though they became relevant, it was never going to get over the hump. And my God, have they figured it all out. And my relationship with the New York Knicks has been confusing at best. I remember when we first moved to New York, like one of the first things we did, I vividly remember getting a Allen Houston number 20 jersey. My brother and I had matching ones. And I remember going on vacation in the Adirondack Mountains, but like making sure the TV had MSG network because that was the thick of the Linsanity run. And I wanted to watch Baron Davis and Carmelo Anthony and Jeremy Lin and Damari Stoudemire and those teams. And then they were so bad that it just made me fall out of love with the team and the sport, the NBA as a whole. And just, it's amazing what one guy does. And like the first steps in turning this around were done by three guys who are probably not talked about all that much right now. And it's a shame they're not, but Tom Thibodeau, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett were three guys that really turned this thing around and really they made that playoff that first time. And then obviously the linchpin was Jalen Brunson, who has now cemented himself as a Mount Rushmore New York Knick.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on this series?
That just dominance. And now as a Knicks fan, all you can do is sit back and hope the Thunder and the Spurs go 7 and get a repeat of the Cavs where they maybe are a step slow and are feeling the effects of a brutal 7-game physical series because just now it's rest up and get ready for these finals. I can't believe I'm saying it, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. But on the other side, waiting, the Knicks are waiting for it. The winner of the Spurs versus the Thunder, Game 5 tonight on day of recording Tuesday night, 2-2 series. Tanner, give me your thoughts on this series so far.
The series has been obviously awesome. You have a an interesting storyline in the fact that you just have the best team in basketball versus the freak, the alien, the 7'4" guy who's had 41 and 24 and hit a 30-foot three to tie the game in overtime. That guy. The games themselves, I guess, after game 1, they haven't been like the most thrilling games. But the home atmospheres are great. The basketball has been great, and like, yeah, I'm more excited for Game 5. We all know the stats about Game 5, how pivotal that game is for the winner of the series. I'm more excited to watch it now, given the fact that my team's in the finals. But it's been good basketball, and Game 3 to me, I guess, stands out in the fact that it went to San Antonio, tied 1-1. San Antonio jumps out to the 15-0 run to start the game. It could get into potential danger zone, and Oklahoma City just never blinked, never wavered, never anything, and ended up coming back and winning that game. A championship pedigree that like you can't really teach. They just been there, done that. Knew there was a lot of game left and got it done. And then Game 4, obviously, Spurs kind of took care of business. So they're heading back to Oklahoma City. You know that place is going to be rocky, and it's critical for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 5, critical one tonight. But to be honest, I kind of disagree. I don't think this series has been all that great. Game 1 was absolutely incredible. So it is going to be hard to live up to that hype. But I'm going to be honest, I hate watching these two teams play. It is an absolute flop fest. Both sides, obviously, Shea Gilgeous being the face of the flop in the NBA these days. I can't stand it. Game 1 should have been what Game 2 and 3, Game 4 should have been. It should have been just basketball, and you just don't get that with this Thunder team. It's so annoying because they are so damn good. Obviously, we've seen the clips going resurfacing from his days at with the Clippers. He was driving, yamming it on people, not flopping. He was one of those young studs. I was like, this could be one of the guys. and then he joins the Thunder, and then there's rumors that there was a tweet I saw like who's to blame for how Shea and Chet play with their flopping and a lot of signs. I don't know if I agree or nor disagree. But a lot of people are saying Chris Paul, kind of known for overreacting to fouls. So I mean, I don't know if that's only person to blame for this, but it's just so unwatchable. I mean, I want to say is game 3 or 4. There was a 5-minute stretch where every possession ended in a foul. And majority of them not actually being fouls. So I don't know where my dislike is, whether it's just the flopping, whether it's being how it's officiated, but I think this should be one of the greatest game series right now, and because we saw it in game 1, and I just haven't these last 3 games just haven't lived up to the hype in my eyes. I'm sure I'm in the minority there, but it's just not like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's fair for sure. I guess I'm mainly looking at stuff through rose-colored glasses because the Knicks have been playing so well. But yeah, no, I just that is we talk about problems with the NBA. We've covered it on here, so we don't need to rehash all that. In my opinion, the number one issue is fouls. It's just these excessive fouling and attention on drawing fouls has completely just ruined the flow of the game. As you said, just like that 5-minute stretch where it's just foul, 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 foul. You can't, there's no fast break opportunity. It's just stop, 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 whistle, whistle, whistle. Then you get guys in foul trouble. And then obviously when the fouls start to pile up, then you get the bonus foul. And it just completely cuts off all flow of the game. And I've said it a million times, but just the over legislation of the game and what's a foul, what's not a foul, and taking that ability of feeling out the physicality of a basketball game, figuring out what constitutes a foul within that physicality between the two teams has been ripped out of the referee's hands, and it's a shame. And it's a damn crying shame.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's gotten so bad where I find myself actively disliking this Thunder team. Like it's got like, and it's getting to a point where if I dislike this team, the 2 best players on this team so much, why am I calling myself a Thunder fan?
Yeah.
Like I would like
at
to see Wemby.
At this point, are you a Thunder fan or were you a Russell Westbrook fan? You know what I mean?
I'm starting to come to. Was it cool seeing them win the finals last year? Absolutely, but the issues were starting to show last year, but like this year it's gotten 50 times worse to where I'm not even tuning in until the last quarter. Like it's that bad. So with that, a lot of people jump on when the team is winning. I'm officially entering NBA fan free this upcoming season. I'm taking my talents somewhere to be named at a later date. Dude, it's bad.
Do you happen to know when, roughly when? Because I think we need to do the decision. Maybe we could do like the college recruit with the hats out front.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll get you a throne because LeBron was sitting on a throne.
Yeah,
in his decision, so we'll get you a throne.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that, but I'm definitely down. I have a leaning I'm going towards, but who knows? because this team is just not fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, sports are supposed to be fun.
So, yeah,
If you're not
breaking
having
news.
fun, wow.
Sam
That's
Godsey entering NBA fan free agency this upcoming off season. I mean, yeah. So we'll see. I'm curious how this series pans out. Because I do think the Thunder are the better team.
They are
as
favored
a whole,
in the critical game 5, and they obviously have home court advantage.
but
Wemby's the great equalizer.
yeah, we'll see. I've never seen the NBA world come together as one behind Victor Wembanyama. I'll say that because no one likes this Thunder team. And to be honest, I think the outlook on this team would be way different if they didn't do the bullshit. I'm like, yes, what I mean by the bullshit is on court bullshit. Like, I think, is it corny that they have all their antics? Absolutely. But like, it reminds me of a college squad, which I love college basketball. So,
the Thunder to me come across as like fake tough, not necessarily because they play physical basketball. I'm not even. It's the things like with Caruso, who like I've started to turn on Caruso a bit. Maybe I don't know if that's but like the things like when they're losing and the camera goes and he puts the camera.
It's all fun and games,
man. Like, either do that all the time or you don't. Like doing that just to like I'm built like Kobe to where I'm so about I'm so about winning that no cameras in here. This is the Mamba mentality. It's like, come on, man. Like, first quarter, don't do that now. It's the Spurs don't have a live feed of that being like, oh, what's their play gonna be? Dude, it's like it's crazy, and like stuff like that has kind of turned me in like just performative fake tough stuff. That has rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are players I do like on the Thunder, which kind of sucks. But like the fact I want to see not even necessarily see them lose. I want to see Chet lose. I'm not even capping there, but like I should adore this team.
Yeah,
and I just despise them, which sucks.
Yeah,
but I mean, Jalen Williams, both of them. I really like Isaiah Joe, obviously Arkansas boy. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and it has nothing to do that there might be a Thunder Knicks potential finals. It has nothing to do with that. This thought has been brewing for a while now.
So now, this is the age-old question because I've seen it thrown out. Generally speaking, America doesn't root for New York. I get that. Obviously, I'm someone who hates the Yankees for all of those reasons. I like all of those reasons. The Knicks are different in the fact that they're a terrible franchise.
Yeah.
So when you'll find like in terms of brand and swagger is not the right word because usually you gotta win to have swagger, but like international, like I would say the Knicks and the Yankees are similar. It's just that the Yankees win, the Knicks don't. So because of that, you will find people in what's the most random city I can think of? Branson, Missouri,
nice.
who have never stepped foot in New York, who are Yankee fans because they're the Yankees and they win 27 rings.
Yeah.
You'll find people in Salt Lake City, Utah, who are Yankee fans because they're the Yankees and they're the biggest brand.
Yeah.
You don't find that with the Knicks because they don't
win.
They don't win.
Yeah.
So if they're a Knicks fan, there's a 95% chance that New York is in their blood somehow, whether they live there, their parents live there, somehow, some way.
100%.
Which makes this like special, and it makes the Knicks, in my eyes, obviously I'm a Knicks fan, but very different from the Yankees in the fact that they're not a bandwagon-y
I would
fan
agree with
base.
that. Yeah.
And I think the fan base at their performance this playoffs has been like one where not like third party impartial fans should be like, whoa, that's like they've taken over Cleveland.
It is incredible.
Like,
As a third party, it's
Philly.
obviously like they're not. I wasn't overly impressed per se with Philly because it is so close.
Yeah.
But what they did last night in Cleveland was one of the coolest things.
I mean, that's like a 9-hour drive or a flight. And obviously they took over Cleveland. Like it's crazy. And like truly, obviously there are some people, myself even included in that, when things got bad, they just kind of like turned the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched some of those teams, but like my point being, there's no one in Branson, Missouri, or Salt Lake City, Utah, who's a Knicks fan because of New York and it's the big brand. And I love New York. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the Thunder, let's just say the Thunder beat Spurs.
Yeah.
Does America root for New York? Because I feel like America feels the way you do, the way I do about the Spurs team.
Yeah.
But then again, obviously, America will basically never root for New York. So,
yeah.
Where does America go? Or do they just say, I don't want either of these teams to win, so we might as well have a good series?
I think it's the latter. I really do. But I think if you're an NBA fan that is not like a super casual, I think they will tend to cheer for the Knicks because they are a fun team. No one can deny that, especially the backstory with Bridges, Brunson, and Hart all being on Villanova. So it is definitely an interesting question, but I would say if I had to choose, if they're actively cheering against, if they go up against the Thunder, I think more people would end up cheering. If you polled a bunch of people, you have to cheer for one of these teams, and they have a single clue about the NBA, I think a lot of people will choose the Knicks. But if you go up to someone that may necessarily doesn't follow the NBA, I think it can be
there will
50-50.
be someone who doesn't. They just see Oklahoma City or New York. I'm rooting for Oklahoma City. Like,
yeah.
No,
small market versus big market kind of thing. Yes. But yeah, definitely an interesting question.
Now, who will former Thunder fan Sam Godsey be rooting for?
If it's the Thunder versus Knicks, I hate to do this because like you love to see two podcast hosts bash, but like I do find myself cheering for the Knicks. I love Hart. I've kind of said this. I've never said it out loud, but I've always thought like I love guys that go all out in every aspect. That's why I think I love Russell Westbrook so much because I saw him dominate in every aspect of the game. And I think obviously I'm not comparing Josh Hart, Russell Westbrook, or prime Russell Westbrook. But like Josh Hart he knows his role and he dominates in every aspect of that role, which I love.
Yeah, he's probably the best rebounding guard in basketball.
100. I don't think you can even argue.
Yeah,
that.
And like he knows his role and he plays well. And I think that like the Knicks, Jose Alvarado does the exact same thing. And like Mikal Bridges, everything we talk about in NBA, but like we think what you want about Mikal Bridges, 5 first-round picks is a hefty price. Was it a bad trade, good trade, yada yada yada? First off, he's put all of that to bed this past series, but like he is the antithesis of what is wrong with the NBA. He plays every day.
Yeah,
he plays great defense. He plays his role. He doesn't. He's an opportunistic scorer. He can go off. Doesn't usually. Doesn't always play great. Like he's had some games where I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Mikal? Like it's
Yeah.
basketball. You're gonna have sports. You're gonna have that. But like he plays every day. He plays great defense, and it's just like it's the antithesis of what's wrong with the NBA. And the Knicks are filled with those guys, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Anything else on NBA?
I think I've said my piece.
I think I have too.
I think you have too. I think you have too. It's just like when it comes down to it, it's like we've bashed NBA at certain points, and then yeah, my Knicks fandom has gone through a roller coaster ride. But at the end of the day, like I mentioned, this is the third time. This is the fourth time any of my favorite teams are playing in a championship in my life. One of them was in 2000 when I was 2. One of them was the Rangers in 2014 where I was still like, wasn't just, I don't even know if I'd really count that. It's literally the second time that I will like be locked into my team in a championship series or game or whatever. And, obviously 2015 did not go well for me. So like,
yeah,
it's time to rectify all that and see a damn championship for once.
Yeah. All right, dude. That your reaction, the New York, that's what makes this Knicks thing so cool too, is because obviously you have in New York, you have your Mets, you have your Nick or your Yankees fan. They're all rocking New York Knicks gear when it comes to the NBA.
That's it.
Which makes it so cool.
The team split in New York. There are more. The outside person who thinks of New York, there are more Mets fans than they think there are. It's legitimately like a 60-40 split. Jets and Giants, kind of a similar thing. Obviously, recently they've both been quite bad, but like it's a similar thing. Hockey, the Islanders are a little more concentrated to Long Island, but like hockey will never take over the city.
Yeah.
So like even then, it's kind of a moot point with when the Rangers are good, the city is great, but like it'll never take over the city the way that like the way basketball. New York at its core is a basketball city. Rucker Park, the shooting lab play, like all of those are the core of New York. It is a basketball city at its heart, and just it's legitimately 95% Knicks fans and people who where I've seen plenty of people where baseball is their main content. They go at each other's throats all year. Yankees, Mets, screw
you. Yeah.
And they are high-fiving and hugging and just like it completely takes over the city because New York at its core is a basketball city, and I will absolutely die on that hill. And I guess I don't even necessarily think I need to because finally we're seeing a really good Knicks team obviously get to the finals, and the world is seeing what that city thinks about basketball. It is paramount. It is number one. It's just the tragedy of the New York Knicks was there for 27 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're back.
Yeah.
They're back. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very cool. But anything else in the sports world? I think we've touched plenty on the NBA. So if you have anything else, I got a couple more, but wanted to ask you first.
We could always do our little touch on MLB. There are also some headline stories, like I think that something dominating the sports world right now that I kind of want to talk about because I think it's awesome when maybe opposing teams are petty and don't play it the right way, and then a player just shoves it up their ass and dominates them. Like Jason Williams' daughter.
Yeah, Mia Williams.
I couldn't think of her first.
Yeah.
Mia Williams.
This story is awesome. So I'm gonna mess this up somehow. Mia Williams what played softball with the Florida Gators, ended up going
Florida
alma
mater. Jason Williams,
Jason
legendary
Williams,
basketball
White
player.
Chocolate.
I believe he won a national championship.
I think you're right. Yeah. Basically what happened is They are in the Women's College World Series, or trying to get into the Women's College World Series. She transfers, and it they hit her 5 times in this series. Who was the team she's on?
Texas
Is it
Tech.
Tech?
She's on
Okay,
Texas Tech.
that's what I thought. I didn't want, but gets hit like 5 times in this series. Kind of a back and forth series. The last game of this series, Texas Tech wins 15 to like 6. Absolutely done. Mia Williams was an absolute stud. Jason Williams got thrown out. Florida refusing to shake hands afterwards. It has been a whole thing. But this is, I mean, we've said it multiple times when it comes to this off the field, on the field stuff, this is what makes sports so fun.
Yeah, actually, I was wrong. He did not win a national championship with Florida. He won a title with the Heat. That's where my mind. I was like, I knew there was something with Florida, but yeah, it's I don't know what went on behind the scenes. With this, I don't know why she trained. I don't know any of that, and I think Florida has a right to be pissed and a right to be like, "F you, you left us."
Oh yeah,
hitting someone 5 times is crazy. I think one inside pitch to brush her off to be like, "Hey, screw you, now let's play."
Yeah,
maybe. Okay, sure. Hitting someone 5 times is crazy.
Yeah.
But like, as much as I don't have a problem with Florida being like, "Yo, F you," I have certainly. It's like, it's awesome to see when someone leaves their team and then puts them in the dirt. Hits 2 clutch home runs in that series, gets hit 5 times, and just bat flips on them, walks like pimps home runs. And then what I do have a problem with is not shaking hands. That is like the pettiest crap you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And good for Texas Tech for being able to celebrate on their field. Jason Williams is like, I would say this, it's like the perfect person for this to happen to, like content wise, because he don't give a crap.
Yeah.
He's never given a crap. She what he said about the old lady.
Yeah.
Where like an old lady like threw something at his daughter or threw it at him. I don't remember which one. And they asked him to comment. And he said, she'll like. They asked him, "Why don't you press charges?" He said, "I want her to enjoy the last years of her life. She's going to die soon anyway." Like, you just don't care. He talks like you don't care, and it's awesome to see. And it's awesome to see a guy have his daughter's back like that. And apparently, he is done. DONE with Florida. Like, no kids are ever going there. Florida gives him an NIL package. The quote I saw was like, he's going to ask Dave to get involved with like Michigan to try and match it. So like they don't go to Florida.
Yeah. It was, I can't remember exactly what was going on. It was a super regional, so obviously Tech advanced. But yeah, this was absolutely electric. Like you mentioned, hit numerous times. She had a game winner in game 1 and game 3. So absolutely electric. In a sport we don't talk about often.
So shout out Mia Williams. You're a beast. And keep I guess I would say keep stunting on the haters, but you killed your haters.
Yeah.
Only people that are left are your supporters. So
absolutely. In other sports world news, a sport I'm not gonna act like I am a expert on. I'm not gonna dive deep into this, but I just want to bring your attention to Will Buxton's final call of the Indy 500.
Sure.
Did you have a chance to listen?
I have listened to it. Yes, I have listened to it.
Your thoughts?
It's just like, to me, it's really tough to contextualize because
100%.
To me, winning the Indy 500 means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Means everything to those involved.
Yeah.
In IndyCar, and it's a great call. Like it is an excellent call. I realize it's an excellent call, and you can kind of feel the gravity of the moment. You can hear the comms, in the background of that call, and you can hear the you do. Like when they think you just won the Indy 500,
Yeah.
you hear him say that, which like you can kind of feel the gravity of that, which is cool. It's a great call. It's an absolutely awesome call. It's hard to grasp the stakes. He does a really good job of portraying them, where you can tell there are stakes, but you just can't really grasp the magnitude. I can't really grasp the magnitude of it just because of I don't know if I've ever watched an Indy 500 ever. But like it was a great call.
It obviously, like I said, we're not gonna try to be the race was immaculate. Supposedly it was from what I've heard, but I thought that was for not knowing a damn thing about this race. I thought it was one. You knew immediately how important this last lap was, obviously, but like it was an awesome call. I want to shout out Will Buxton for that. But what do you say we wrap up this episode with a little MLB?
Let's do it.
Look in with our teams.
Yeah, I think yesterday, which is funny, someone has to die in order for someone else to rise. I think yesterday, a majority of fans officially labeled the Mets are dead. They're DEAD, dead, which is tough because they were playing a little bit better ball. They won 2 or 3 against the Yankees. They swept the Tigers, and they got to like 5 or 6 games under 500. They got good news on Lindor on his health, that he was working his way back, and it was like, okay, maybe they can tread water and make a push at this. Then they immediately split a series against Washington, whatever. Immediately after that, they played Miami in a 3-game set over the weekend, Sam. They got swept. Guess how many runs they scored in the 3 games combined?
3.
3. That's really low. They scored 2. They lost 2-1, 4-1, 4-0. So they scored 2 runs in that set, and then immediately got schmang bopped by Cincinnati. They were down 7-1. They were down 7-0 at one point. I believe they lost. The final was 7-2. That's 4 straight losses. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight, and yeah, that's 5 straight games scoring 2 or less runs. They're dead. They tried out a lineup with I think 2 guys with an OPS over 700 every day. They're young. They're young. Their young pitcher who had been like the one reason for hope in his last 2 starts has gotten. I'm going to say it again. Schmang bopped. His ERA went from like a 2.6 to over 4. Clay Holmes has fractured his leg against the Yankees. Mm-hmm. There's little reason for hope. The young guys are like pretty good, so like that's kind of fun. And again, neither of them have really that much pop. So
yeah,
Soto's unbelievable, and it feels like at this point you're just deathly afraid of the Mike Trout comparisons which Soto's played in 2 World Series. He won a World Series with Washington. So we've seen him in that stage. So maybe that, but just like hey, get him out of Queens, get him out of Queens. Like, yeah, get him out of Queens. It is hard to believe the high coming off of 2024 made the NLCS. I was on this podcast talking about how the tide has shifted. Juan Soto chose the Mets over the Yankees. Like, he chose this. He wants to come here. We just made the NLCS. This is a team on the rise. Like, the sky's the limit for this Mets team, and they have missed the playoffs. They're going to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. This year, with one of the most embarrassing team performances, they're 10 games under 500 right now, and currently losing as we record 3-0. It's embarrassing. This entire thing is embarrassing. Like, putting on a Mets hat has become embarrassing. Like, it's become like I've legitimately, like, the other day we played golf, and what went through my mind as we were playing golf was like, oh, I have to have like a Mets putter cover. Like, I better cover this.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing to like have that logo anywhere on your person, on your belongings. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. And it's just like, it's hard to believe how a team that had arguably the most momentum in MLB after the NLCS and after signing Soto has completely and utterly squandered it and has the lowest vibes, the worst outlook, the worst name something. They are probably the worst in the MLB. Yeah. That's just on a vibe standpoint. That's not even the actual baseball, which they're also the worst in the MLB. So I think I'm to the point. I've already considered the year. There's a thing in Mets land. You cancel the season. When you're done, you recognize. I canceled the minute Clay Holmes broke his leg.
Yeah.
I'm to the point, which normally when I cancel, I still watch because I'm a sicko and I just like to, I'm a Mets fan. I watch my team and hope they win.
Yeah.
I'm not even watching. They've lost me. They've lost me. I didn't watch all weekend. I didn't watch yesterday. I'm not watching today. Like normally a Memorial Day baseball game is what I live for. Day baseball, get to watch my team play. It's what I live for. Yeah. Didn't watch a second. The Knicks were clinching a trip to the playoffs, to the finals.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's that bad right now. And I'm done calling for people's jobs. I don't know what it is, but there's a stink, a stench, something right now where they have the worst vibes, worst aura, worst all of it right now in baseball. They're dead. Hopefully, I don't know when we do this kind of weekly MLB update. I don't know if I'm going to have another one because there's nothing worse than dead. They're just more dead. They're just deader than dead.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a rough stretch for the Mets this season. As for the Cubs, it's been a rough stretch as of late. What was once the hottest team in the MLB has gone completely cold. 2-13 in their last 15. They're looking at a 10-game losing streak right now. They're down 8-1 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They left 3 runners on in the last half innings. That's awesome, but it just seems with this team, obviously I've kind of talked about the pitching. The pitching's not good, but when the pitching is good enough, the bats are ice cold. And when the bats are hot, the pitching is ice cold. And that's kind of the story of this losing streak. They dropped their first one in extras to the White Sox, but since then 9-3, 5-2, 5-0, 4-2, 0-3, 8-5, 1-2, and now they're looking at an 8-1 deficit going into the bottom of the 6th. So it's been an interesting time since I've dove headfirst into the MLB, to say the least. But that is the beauty or the worst of baseball, because one day you can be one of the best teams and a month later you can be one of the coldest.
The problem with the Cubs, they even if they lose this and extend to a 10-game losing streak, they're still over 500, but they would fall to last place in the Central if they lose this game. The Central has been top to bottom the best division in baseball, which is crazy to say. Crazy to think about.
Yeah. So pretty fun way to end the episode.
Yeah,
both of our teams are cold, but
yeah, I would say that, I mean, the Mets are 6 feet under. They're skeleton. They're like rotting corpse. I would say the Cubs are cold.
Yeah,
there's still a path for the Cubs. You can see the Mets.
Yeah,
the Mets are corpse. They're bones. They're in the crypt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But anything else?
Since we last talked, we were talking about how we have a couple of these teams like this is the class, like since we've really dove into the standings, the Rays have just like not lost. They're 34-17. They're in first place in the AL East, overtaking the Yankees, who we were talking about was the class of the American League. The Yankees have now beaten a team over 500. So let's give it up for the Yankees. Only took them till May to beat a team over 500. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, Garrett Cole's back for the Yankees. So there's that. Cam Schlittler for the Yankees, probably the best pitcher in baseball. Pitching like the best pitcher in baseball, which is lovely. We all love to see that. The Braves still don't lose.
Yeah.
The Braves are unbelievable. The White Sox are awesome.
Yeah. Tough.
And the fact that they're 27-27, the White Sox still have a worse record than the Cubs, but obviously expectations are the main thing here. And yeah, the White Sox are drastically outperforming them and are a fun team to root for. So.
Yeah. It's definitely been an interesting MLB season, but anything else on episode 217?
I think that's it from me.
This is going to wrap it up for episode 217. Talked about a lot. The Knicks going to the NBA Finals. Myself entering NBA fandom free agency with my former team, potentially meeting the Knicks in the NBA Finals. We talked some softball. We talked some Indy 500, and of course, wrapped up with our MLB Look In. But you can follow the podcast on X, TikTok, and Instagram, crunchtime_pod. Follow or subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button and the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Crunch Time with the N326 duo. But the clock has run out on this one. But we'll see you on the next one on Crunch Time.
Yes.